now. Hello, everyone. This is the Anything and Whatever podcast. This is episode 2 of the podcast. I'm your host, Ian.
And I am the co-host, Abby.
And just starting this podcast off, for you guys, y'all will not have known this, but we know this, that we recorded segments talking about Owl House and Amphibia, but unfortunately, my fucking computer restarted on itself for no apparent reason. It just randomly did it, just restarted itself. So I lost all that audio and footage.
40 minutes of audio.
I think it was like 40 minutes. So yeah, we lost all that shit. So unfortunately, we do not care to talk about it because it seems so like lifeless to restart and just talk about the same thing again. So where we were talking about Moon Knight, the newest episode. We gave a synopsis. Unless maybe you should give the synopsis, I guess, if you want.
Okay, so the show revolves around Steven, which in the comics, Steven is very different from the Steven we get in the show. In the comics, Steven is pretty much like a Bruce Wayne, billionaire philanthropist, playboy kind of thing. In this show, we get Steven as a more like dorky, nerdy kind of guy. He loves has an interest in the Egyptian, like in the Egyptian gods and stuff like that. He's super interested in that and knows a lot about it. He's a gift shop cashier at a museum that's for that. Pretty much our main character throughout the episode and probably throughout the show in general. He's going to be our main character. He has no idea about his DID. Mark, like in the comics, Mark is the main guy, like the host of the system, I guess you can say.
Yes.
But in this show, it seems like it's going to be Steven who we follow mostly.
Yeah.
Steven is pretty much like the guy who who us as the audience will ask questions for the audience, like what the fuck is going on? I don't know what the fuck is happening. I think it was a good idea for that. I think it was a good idea as well for them to change up the character, because if we had to follow like some type of Bruce Wayne, Tony Stark kind of guy, it'd probably be like really to follow him around,
Yeah, it's Steven was meant to be more of like, they changed it on purpose, I think, to be relatable to us as the audience, to see him be like this, cashier, gift shop guy. This like, like pretty much like a minimum wage sort of job that he works at, where people kind of shit on him. He doesn't really have a love life, doesn't have that many friends, and he lives in a small apartment. So it's kind of like, I think a lot of people could relate to that, times in their lives. Any aspect of him can be relatable. But it's also just to show like, kind of like, I guess like, what do you call it? Not exceeding, what is it called when you're blind, like, you're trying to like, I guess kind of like, present him in a way that you wouldn't expect, and you wouldn't think this character is gonna be Moon Knight, even though
deceive the audience.
Yeah, deceive the audience in a way. So that's what they wanted to do with this, because Steven is, like I just told you what he is, and he slowly gets revealed of like what his life is and what's going on, because the initially he's just like, going about his life regularly, but then he starts to see very little things start to change that he thinks are very weird. Like he sees like, he starts coming across like, I think his fish had one fin, and then the next day he found out it has two for some reason now.
Yeah,
that was pretty funny.
I guess wacky hijinks. Mark forgot to feed the fish, and he was like, shit, now I need to go get another fish.
Exactly. I think that's probably what happened. And then apparently, I guess Mark, when he was taking over the body, he had asked this random woman out, and then when the woman saw Steven, who is, they're the same person, but different alters were at different points taking over, she was, like, Steven was asking people out on dates that he doesn't even know, you know what I mean? So
which which I think is very shitty of Mark to just be like, "Hey, want to go on a date with me?" and has no intention of like ever doing it. I don't know if he just forgets or if that just shows how holy Mark is. I'm not really sure.
It's possible. Yeah, so like that our big review. So yeah, so those are little things, and then Steven, the biggest thing for Steven was that he woke up somewhere in Germany with his jaw dislocated. He wakes up, looks around, doesn't know what's going on, and because like you said, we followed him for a while until we got to the really crazy shit, and then he's getting chased down by guys with guns, and then we come across our main villain, which is it
It's Ethan
Ethan?
Hawke. I forgot his name, the character's name. Let me see what the character's name was.
Mm-hmm. Ethan Hawke's character is the villain, and his power is basically he has a portion or a small fraction of this ancient Egyptian god's power, where he's able to, like, I guess, determine someone's fate. I mean, fate on like a, what do you call it, like a balancer kind of sort of thing, where
Yeah, he's able to see if a person will do something bad, whether it be if they have already done it or will do it in the future. And it pretty much, if they did, then they will automatically be killed, I guess.
I don't think it's based on the future. I think it's based on what they have already done. I'm pretty sure.
No, it's all the episode even said like because the reason he has his power is because a god gave it to him. But
Hmm.
God, the whole point was that he was um also sees into the future for what could happen, like what this person could do, I believe.
I okay. I didn't know that aspect, so that's interesting.
That's the whole thing was like he's able to also like see if someone will do something bad, in the future. So,
And he said that, right?
yeah, he said that.
Okay.
Like
Well,
it's pretty much he's like, oh, the god will see what you have done and what you will do. I believe, if I
oh,
remember
well,
correctly.
I guess I'll have to rewatch it, but anyway, just like weighs out like whether you're good or bad, and then if you're bad, your life is drained from you. If you're good, then you're good. You know, and there was like this, I don't know what they call it, a scarif or something. It was like a beetle that Stephen had in his hand, very confused why he had it. And it was funny because Khonshu, the Egyptian moon god, is the one that's talking to Stephen as well as Mark in his head. And this is like kind of like slowly revealing to us like what's going on, why is this happening to Stephen. So Stephen goes to that little village down where he was, and then sees Ethan Hawke's abilities, and then Ethan Hawke wants him to give back that beetle, but he's like sure, but Mark says no because he's controlling his body doing that. So then they go on a whole like car chase, and Steven keeps waking up and going back to sleep, and things just keep happening randomly. And then, I believe after the car chase, Steven ends up back at home, and
Yes.
yep, he just realizes, uh, I lost a lot of time. He had fallen asleep at Friday, but woke up on a Sunday and missed the date with that girl or that lady, and then yeah, and then Ethan Hawke follows him back to his work because he had told him, I'm Stephen Grant and I work at a museum shop. And Ethan Hawke's character does like threatens him to give them back that thing, the beetle. And then later on in the day, Steven's chased by like a what do you call it, like a, I don't know, some
Like one of
Egyptian
those, like
werewolf.
the dog things.
Yeah, like an Egyptian werewolf or something. And then
Yeah.
that's when I think that's when we as the audience and Steven realize I'm not even the original host of this body, because apparently Mark is the original host. And also, I forgot to mention this, but Steven came across one of Mark's like little cubby spaces where he keeps like a phone and some other things. And when he answered the phone, he saw that there was a woman on the phone that knew Mark, but obviously Steven doesn't know who that is. And then later she hangs up and he tried to call her, but she didn't answer. And then Mark talked to him through the mirror and blah, blah, blah. And then at the end, Mark's like telling Steven to let him take over his body. And then Moon Knight takes over. and we finally get to see Moon
And
Knight.
that's a badass scene. We don't see that much, but it's a badass scene nonetheless.
Exactly. And so we get 4 alters technically. We get 3 in this episode. We get Mark, we get Steven, and we get Moon Knight. Because technically in the comics, they say Moon Knight is its own separate entity from Mark and everyone in the body. Because, like you mentioned, he has DID, but I think Moon Knight counts as being the protector alter. But
Also, throughout the episode, Steven calls his mom, which I'm not sure if his mom, because since Steven is like an alter and
mm,
not the original Mark. First of all, I don't know who he's calling. I'm not sure. Well, it can't be like a disconnected or fake number because it would be like this number has been disconnected. But he's talking to his mom. Never talks to his mom. He just calls her on voicemail.
yeah.
But he gets postcards from his mom, and I forgot who. I watched a video and I forgot who pointed it out, but someone pointed out how the postcards that is sent to him apparently from his mom are the same postcards that are the gift shop he works at. So it could be Mark just making him think that he's living a normal life, that he has a mom and stuff like that. I'm not
Yeah,
really sure.
you're right. I did remember hearing that from, I think Screen Crush said that.
Yeah, I believe it was Screen Crush.
But
But
yeah,
yeah, I can't wait for more episodes. I can't wait for more Moon Knight, the character.
yeah. Um, Yeah, I think it was a good start to the show, honestly. And we mentioned 3C films in the last podcast, but I watch his videos a lot, and it was funny because he got to see 4 of the episodes already before they came out. I guess because
Mm-hmm.
Marvel and Disney gave him permission to, because he wanted to review them. And he actually said that he thought people were going to be very like upset that there's not enough Moon Knight because Moon Knight doesn't come out till later. But I'm like, we already got Moon Knight though in the first episode. So I'm kind of confused what he was talking about, but maybe not consistently. But I think I'm okay with that. I think.
I think it gives a little bit more air of mystery, more like a frightening aura to him if we don't see him that much, I think.
I think so because it's possible that it's also like a studio thing where they're like, oh, we can't do too much Moon Knight because it's all CGI, pretty much the whole suit.
Ah,
um,
yeah, that's also.
I, well, at least the scene where he transforms into it, I think other scenes, I think show that his suit is actually like a real suit. Like, I think he could take off the mask probably, but
Man,
yeah,
I love the animation for when the suit is like wrapped around him. It looks so cool.
yeah, it does look pretty cool. It looks pretty cool.
We don't see it in this episode, if I remember correctly, but in the trailers, it looks so cool when it's the suit's being wrapped around him, almost like it kind of reminds me of Venom.
Yeah, yeah, it's like Venom kind of.
Yeah,
I
and
think.
I can't wait for more episodes. I can't wait for more episodes. I wonder if they're going to. I'm not even sure if they're going to even introduce like how Mark, um, like how this happens, like Mark, if they're going to have an intro episode to Mark and how all this happened, or if it's just going to be bits and pieces of like him explaining, like, oh yeah, this happened because in insert backstory here.
Yeah, I believe so because in the original comic books, Mark, I think, was a archaeologist or something, or
I
he was like
believe so.
he was looking for some ancient like ruins, and he came across the ones that happened to be Khonshu, who's the moon god's, I guess, place. And I think he was close to dying for some reason. I'm very much not knowing
I
exactly
think
what
it was because he
happens.
was in the desert and he ran out of like supplies and stuff, so he was dying. But then the Moon Knight was like, "Hey," then the Moon God was like, "Hey, I got you, bro."
Yeah, he's like, I got you, bro. No worries. And yeah, you're right, I think. And then that trade was that he would take over his body to use it as like a vessel for him to use as like a knight, and in return he would give him life and everything.
Yeah,
Khonshu is in this episode though, like they kind of present him as like this like bird looking like skeleton mummy thing. Um, and he's also technically, I don't count him as one of his alters because in the comics they kind of clearly show that he's the one who possessed him, so he doesn't really count as an alter. Um, but he's in his head talking with Mark as well, like, and while Steven's like just listening to me like what. But yeah, so far in the comics there was actually, I believe, technically four alters in total. So it was Mark, Steven Grant, who was the billionaire, I mean the millionaire or whatever, like you said, he was more of a Bruce Wayne type, and
Mm-hmm.
Moon Knight counted as his own alter in the comics, and then the fourth one was
I forgot his name,
I
but I believe he was like a taxi driver or
yeah,
something.
it was a taxi driver. The fourth alter was a taxi driver. You're right. Um, of course, in this one, it's possible we might get another alter, but I think the one that they're showing us in the ads and all the like promotional material is that the we're getting technically in total we're getting four alters, which is Grant. I mean, sorry, Grant, Steven, Mark, Moon Knight, and Mister Knight.
Yep. He's a newer character. He wasn't in the original comics. He was a newer alter that was added in more recent comics. But apparently he's a fan favorite, so I don't read the comics, so I'm excited to see what Mr. Knight is like in the show.
Yeah, he I saw a bit of it, and he's I mean, I saw a bit of it. I mean, I watched a video talking about it, and they said that Mr. Knight's more of like a detective that works with the police kind of thing. So he's not really like a. I thought he was like a chaotic like version, like he was like extremely chaotic and stuff, and like I guess he probably is, but he's basically like a. He doesn't interfere much, like he doesn't do physical combat or anything. He's more like he talks to people, and he also is like more of a detective, works with the police, I believe. So he's kind of like that alter where he's smart. He's really, I guess, the smartest alter from Mark. So
Hmm.
I think that's what he is. So yeah, we're gonna have four, I think, in the show later on, like in total. And I did read. I'm reading this comic series called Devil's Reign. It's part of the Marvel series, and there was a one shot that was called Devil's Reign Moon Knight. And in that one, it's kind of interesting because these are different versions of the character. But in that one, Moon Knight, I don't know if it's Mark. I guess it's Mark, but Mark slash Moon Knight acts a lot like Rorschach, but without the misogyny. And
Hmm.
it's funny because I really like that version of him, that Moon Knight, because I've never read any Moon Knight comics. That was like my first Moon Knight comic to really read, and it was kind of cool to get that, like the way he thinks and the way he talks. But I did get a glimpse of Mr. Knight, and it seems that yeah, Mr. Knight's kind of like he talks to people like, I don't know, he's not a psychiatrist, but it seemed like in that comic he might have been as well to other people, or at least he's like a someone that's like a friendly hand that's like, tell me what's going on and I'll help you. But yeah, and apparently I read another comic that's a Moon Knight and it's a tie-in, but it was very loosely tied to Devil's Reign. But it was like, since Moon Knight is in jail, this guy is not even Moon Knight. He's technically like Night Moon or something. Like he's kind of like a. He's not even Steven. He's not the main. He's not even the original Moon Knight. He's like a different. He's a different Moon Knight. So that was really interesting. But yeah, anyway, that was just kind of going off of that. But yeah, the show's pretty good. I like what they're doing with
Can't
it.
can't wait for more episodes to come out
Yeah. But
so that we can make reviews.
any more thoughts on it?
No, I don't have any more thoughts on it.
Okay. Well,
So
another Disney
speaking
prop.
of Disney Plus shows,
Exactly. Louder and prouder. Family.
yep,
Proud family.
we didn't talk about this in the last podcast, so we actually have a lot to say about the show.
Yeah. I guess I guess we don't have to do. We could talk about the newest episode, but I guess we could talk about the show so far, how it's been, because there's been like what now, like 6 episodes in total, or 7 or 6.
I believe about, yep.
So yeah, it's a. You could say it. You could talk about it first.
Okay. The original show is probably one of my favorite animated Disney cartoons.
Hmm.
So I was super excited when it was released that the Proud Family would get a reboot. In this reboot, I believe are they in this? Because I believe there were 13 in the show. In
Uh,
this show, let me look it up.
like her
They
age.
got older. Like, yeah, I'm thinking about their age now.
Oh, yeah, I believe she's in 8th grade, I believe now. I think. Y-
So let me make sure.
you probably are correct.
14. She's now 14. She's now
Oh,
14. Okay.
14. Okay. Okay.
She's now 14. Um, and it just like she got redesigned. All the best friend characters got redesigns.
Mm-hmm.
The show so far is pretty good, I would say. Like in total, I think I really like the first episode. Um, the other episodes are pretty good. There were a few episodes I don't care about, like maybe two episodes I didn't care about, but besides that, I think the show's good. They added a new character for the show. Her name's Maya, and she's an activist. Personally, I kind of wish for more in her character because she just seems like especially in the not in the latest episodes, but in the first four episodes, they made her seem like just La Cienega in my opinion. Like she just
Yeah.
seemed like La Cienega in her role that she's like because in the show La Cienega was like the character who's like, I hate all of you, but I'm still gonna hang out with you and consider you friends for some reason. And that's the same with Maya, where she's like, I hate all of you, but I'm still gonna hang out with you and consider you friends for some reason. And even in the first episode, she talks about how like, oh, your friend group and you like she's talking to Penny and she's saying like, you and your friends are so shallow, and then in the next episode she's being all buddy buddy with La Cienega, the most shallow of the friend group, which made no sense
Exactly.
to me.
Such a hypocrite. Such a hypocrite. I don't.
Uh,
Yeah, I was
mm,
hoping that this new because they. I'll be honest, like the kind of like the announcement of the reboot included them being like, well, we're gonna add this new character in the show now. And what's her name again? I'm sorry, you said her name.
Maya. Her
Maya.
name's Maya.
Yeah, Maya, and they said she was an activist and stuff. I'm like, that sounds kind of cool. That's kind of an interesting like character to have in the show to actually like talk about more like serious like I guess political topics and just in general things to do with like you could presumably say race issues and stuff like that. Um, there's not much of that yet, but I was like, that's what I thought at first. But I don't mind how they've done it. But like, you're right that her character isn't that original. She's just like a kind of a copycat of La Cienega in a
Yeah,
way.
and I don't even like La Cienega. I wish she just would have left.
I know. I was kind of like, okay, she's just, but I guess they're keeping to the formula. La Cienega's a good like hate character, like kind of someone you don't like that you're like, ooh, need to see the comeuppance of that
Yeah,
character. Um, but yeah,
they sadly I really liked in the original show. In the original show, I love Sticky, but he's not in the new show. The reason for that is because his voice actor is currently in jail for drugs, I believe.
I
I don't know why they didn't just get
allegedly.
another voice actor for him. So I don't know why they just straight up not didn't want him in the show because his voice actor was in jail. But I don't know why they couldn't just get a new voice actor for him. I'm not really sure if there's other stuff. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'm sure it's kind of like the thing where they don't think they don't want to get anyone because they think Sticky could only ever be played by him, probably. Um,
Maybe
but
they kind of replaced Sticky because Sticky in the show was like supposed to be like the tech guy, so they kind of replaced him with Maya's brother, who's a tech guy, but he's not really in the show that much, so I can't really say much about him.
yeah, I forget her brother's name, but yeah, he's kind of like, yeah, you're right, you're right. Replacement for Sticky, pretty much. Um, I do think Maya's just like, I don't know, Maya's just kind of like you said, like she's kind of like she's there sometimes, and I'm like, I don't mind her in some episodes, and then the other episodes, like you said, where like in that one episode where she teamed up with La Cienega, which was really weird, was like when La Cienega was trying to steal Penny's like boyfriend, pretty much, and it was like scummy move for La Cienega, but Maya, dude, why are you stooping to her level if you're such like, oh, you guys are so shallow and blah blah blah? It's like, then why would you help this person?
And then she has the gall to be like, "Oh, I don't care," and it's like she's shown helping, and it's like, "Fuck you,
I
bro!
know. I was
What
like,
you actually you care? Really?
it's like, yeah, fuck you, dude. Like, you do? That's weird. I don't
They
know.
gave Mike, they gave Michael a makeover. Good for him. I love him.
Yeah, I love Michael. I'm glad that they actually like went ahead and made him like, I'm sure like in the original show they couldn't make him exactly the way they wanted him, but now that he's older and they're all older, so they all have like a little transformation to themselves. So it makes sense that now he's taller, he has his own design, like his own fashion sense, which I really like, you know. I really like that he's able to express himself more now,
Mm-hmm.
and which just shows the progression of the show and how like it's more of a current era thing now, which is good because I'm glad it's more progressive in that way. And I guess speaking of it being progressive, it's actually cool that in one episode they addressed like how Maya and her brother's parents, who one of them is like a they're both, so one of them is a cop who works with Sunshine, who is the mom of La Cienega, and their other their other parent is a guy that works at the bank. I forget
Yeah.
his name, but yeah. So that's our first like they don't shy away from it. They're a gay couple in the show, and that's their parents. So they're
Mm-hmm.
adopted, Maya and her brother, which is really cool. But man, I have to address this. I fucking hate Dejanay in that episode so much, and you
Oh
do
my
too.
God.
You can
I
say what you
did
want.
so much. So like when the friends found out like, oh, they have two dads. For some reason, fucking Dejanay was like, oh yeah, let me record it and put it on TikTok, whatever the version of TikTok is in this episode. And I'm like, what the fuck? You really? I'm too mad.
Dude, it's just it. You're right though. It's like it. I don't know if you would think this, Abby, but is it kind of out of her? Is it kind of out of character in a way, sort of? I feel like a bit.
I'm not sure if it was out of character of her. I don't know. And then that episode, everyone was like, yeah, people like in the episode, La Cienega, Dejanay, and Zoe was like, oh yeah, my parents don't approve of that. And I don't know why, but part of me was like, literally, like, I don't know.
I
Ugh.
don't know if that's true either though, because I believe that well, it's funny because Trudy is very accepting of it, and it's so funny because Sugar Mama, who is the oldest character in the show, is very accepting of it. You
Yeah,
know,
she's chill with it.
she's so cool, and it's weird because her fucking son, Oscar Dumbass Proud, was like, "Oh my god, I don't like gay people," and it's like, dude, where is this coming from? If that's your mom and she doesn't mind it and she's a supportive of it, why would you end up like that? Was it your
I
dad?
don't.
I guess, but
I guess I
I
don't
don't
even know.
I don't know, dude. It's really weird. And I wouldn't say that's out of Oscar's character. I think I would expect him to probably be unaccepting of that, probably. I think.
Yeah.
Also, I didn't realize it, but if y'all are watching, I think in the bottom leftish quarter, the girl with the two, like, hair that has, like, it kind of forms, like, kind of like ears is Maya. And then to the right of her is her parents. Her dad, the white guy, is the cop, and then the African American character is her other dad, who is a banker. But those are the two characters that we were talking about. So yeah, Oscar's eyes were just cracking from seeing them kiss, which is, I think they kind of did the imagery well. That's the thing about the animation, is that they can really like show that imagery of like how Oscar's being such a weirdo about them just being normal, you know.
Hmm.
But yeah, it wasn't that bad actually. It was good to address that. That's what I liked about the episode. It was just kind of weird about some of these characters because it was like kind of like Zoe was like sorry, like you said, Zoe was like sorry, I'm running for class president. I can't really
So I
give
have
an
to
opinion.
so I have to stay neutral to the topic. Ugh.
Dude, that's like the least thing. That's like the thing you don't ever have to be neutral about. It's just a simple like that. I'm sorry. I'm gonna tell everyone, bro. There's only a right answer, and that's to be accepting. That's
There's
there's
only one
no
right answer here.
there's only one right answer. You can't just be like, oh, I can't give an opinion. It's like, to what? To have people feel like regular human beings because they are? I don't get the point. Anyway, but that's just like a whole topic. I mean, like but we're getting off of like the episodes. Anyway, that was one episode. What's another one you wanted to talk about maybe from the show if you wanted
In
to?
There was a second episode that was episode, which was talking about like cancel culture kind of, but
Mm-hmm.
none of these shows, because they're made by I respectfully say boomers.
Yeah.
They are made by boomers. They don't really understand cancel culture. The second episode was kind of about cancel culture. There was even like a character that I believe was supposed to be like James Charles because he had his own makeup line and stuff, and he was like the cover. What's it called? The cover girl? Is that what it's called?
Um. Uh. Yeah. Probably. Yeah. I think so. Yeah. You're right. Seemed like James Charles esque.
Kind of like I don't know. It was someone like James Charles, and it was about cancel culture, about how Penny got popular on TikTok or whatever is the equivalent of TikTok in this universe.
Mm-hmm.
And she got popular on it and on Instagram, whatever the equivalent of Instagram is.
Yeah.
And because she got popular, she was just able to cancel people. Just like she literally just recorded herself saying, "Hey, this person is canceled," and they got canceled.
Yeah.
Which I just
No,
wish
go ahead.
one of these shows actually addressed how cancel culture, like address cancel culture correctly, because it's not just as simple as someone's like, "Hey, this person's canceled," and everyone just agrees with them.
Yeah, it was so like it was such a boomer take. I agree. Like it's
Yeah,
like a boomer take of like what cancel culture is, which people don't believe it's even cancel culture really exists, which is like I guess fair when it comes to like cases like actually mentioning James Charles where it happens because James Charles is a piece of shit and it's not even alleged. Or I'll have to say allegedly sent a bunch of like nude pictures to younger boys on Snapchat and stuff. So, you know, he's a piece of shit. But, you know, people try to cancel him and I think they do it, but the thing is that YouTube doesn't take him off the platform and really now nothing is done about it. It's just kind of forgotten, you know what I mean? And it's not because people want to forget about it. People always put it in his comments, I believe, like you're you're a pedo, this and that, which, allegedly, but he is. And but yeah, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of saying like my whole point was that they even put like a James Charles S character, and I'm like, what does that even? I wonder what that message was actually trying to say. You know what I mean?
yeah. I'm not sure. Like animation takes a long time, so this could have been before that stuff happened.
Oh,
So
yeah,
I'll give
you're
them the
right.
benefit of the doubt for that.
That's true. You're right. But so my whole point to that was is that they probably see something like that and think like, well, oh no, no, they don't see something like that. They probably see something else. But for us, we see like it's used in a good manner sometimes. Sometimes it's not. I understand there are times where it's like taken overboard and it's like there you guys shouldn't be trying to do this battle because there's no battle to fight. It's not even a bad thing. Y'all are just really weird right now. But things like that with James Charles was like, yeah, you should be canceled. But unfortunately, it doesn't do shit. That's probably why people don't think it exists because I guess it doesn't do stuff sometimes.
Yeah, I just wish there was like some type of platform that actually addressed cancel culture correctly. Like
Mm-hmm.
there are times where cancel culture can ruin someone's life, and then there are other times like James Charles or like
Shane Dawson.
like Shane Dawson where sadly their life was quote unquote ruined, but they were able to get back out there, no
Exactly.
repercussions.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally, they allegedly I have to say
Yeah,
allegedly
of
they
course.
allegedly did illegal stuff, but nothing was ever done about it.
I know. And it's just, I think it's the fact, Abby, is that it's because all this stuff is addressed online. So for some reason, when it's only addressed online, it never gets repercussions really. Because James Charles did actually legit illegal stuff. Like that's legit jail time stuff. But guess what? Because it was only talked about on the internet and no one went to the police about it. And I think even people that did go to the police about it, it doesn't do anything. He just gets to go off scot free. Like he's like, oh, I did that, and he even made a video. Remember, saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, I was desperate, guys. My bad. Sorry, did an oopsie. Won't happen again, though." It's like
I
what?
promise it won't happen.
Oh God, it's so disgusting. But sorry, the whole thing about talking
This
about that
whole
was
thing became a tangent.
anyway. But yeah, talking about Proud Family, they did address cancel culture, but not in a great way. That's what we're trying to
Very
say.
boomer take of cancel culture. The next episode is about amusement park the Oscar goes to. I have no real thoughts on that episode. Lizzo's in the episode. That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah, Liz was in the episode. That's, I guess, pretty much the biggest part of it.
Yeah. And then the latest episode was that Roker actually came back. If you remember Roker, he was like in two other episodes where he was like, "Hey, Penny, I got you. I got you. You want your kid siblings to be older now? I will do that, but with
Exactly.
repercussions." And then the same thing with there was another episode where he was like, "Oh, you don't want your parents anymore? Okay, I got you,
Oh
but
yeah.
there are repercussions."
Hmm.
So he comes back and she's like, "I wish I was in college already." And he was like, "Got it done." And he sees how hard college is
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The realization.
as two people who are in college currently.
Yeah, we could concur. It's hard and expensive.
It is hard. It is expensive.
Um,
Ugh.
it was actually, I really enjoyed that episode with Roker. It was to me, it was cool because the other two episodes she did learn lessons about, but I felt like this was a really good lesson even for our generation, like that grew up with the show and are now currently in college, to see like, yeah, it's not easy, guys. Like, like kids that will see that will also be like, huh, I guess that college isn't that easy. You're not saying you shouldn't go, but it's up to you. I don't think you should have to go if you don't want to or not, because it is a lot of money. But it was kind of cool to see that lesson be learned and kind of see like, oh yeah, it's not as easy. But it was kind of cool also, just like from an animation standpoint and for the characters to see them grown up. That was kind of cool to
Yeah,
see all the
I
characters
like
grown up.
I like I like seeing the characters grow up. And it's funny how they also brought back Penny's boyfriend. I love Penny's boyfriend, by the way. He
Yeah,
is adorable. I love him.
he is so sweet, and he's legit like an actual like really nice guy in the show. Like he treats her well. He's such a sweet boy, and it's like it's so cool to see her with someone that Because I'm not saying anyone she was with before. Well, actually, there were guys that were really, weren't they? Yeah, there were
There
some.
was that one guy.
Yeah, there was probably some bad relationships in the past, but like I think it's also kind of I guess actually the writers probably thought about this. It's kind of a matter of growing up too, that she's kind of finding someone that's actually more like her speed, and she's kind of knowing what she wants now. Maybe I think it's probably another thing
Yeah.
too. So that's kind of cool. And like you said, he's really sweet, and he's not like a jerk or anything. He's completely the way he is the way he is.
Hmm.
And yeah, I'm all there for it. Um,
Yeah.
um, I guess
I don't
some
really have any other thoughts about it. Do you have any other
yeah.
thoughts?
Just one other thought was funny that Roker. I always liked that there was like that weird supernatural element to the show, that every other episode was kind of normal except for Oscar being thrown around like a cartoon character because he would just bounce
Oh
off walls and
yeah.
stuff. Um, but the thing about this that was cool is that since it's a Roker episode, it's another like supernatural episode where you get wish, you don't like the wish, oh well, now you have to fight for it, and then oh you're gonna go back to your regular life because you learned a lesson. But I liked
Hmm.
it, by the way. This one was my favorite. If I had to pick from the three Roker episodes, this would probably be my favorite one, I think.
Yeah.
But what was funny is that they kind of officially confirmed in the show that Roker is a demon, right?
He is. Yeah, they have confirmed it because he was like he works downstairs and stuff like that.
And she's like, "Don't you mean upstairs?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure, yeah." It was funny because we always got imagery of him being like flamey, like I mean, in flamey as in like he had fire over him, like in I think the last two episodes was in the original show, and that kind of was like saying, is he evil? Well, he is evil in a way, but I was like, is that mean like demon? And then it's like this one they like confirm
I
it
always,
for sure.
yeah, I always just assumed he was like some type of genie or something along that line. But this
Exactly.
confirmed that he's just a fucking demon.
I know, which is crazy. But yeah, it was a good episode. I liked it, and the show itself is really good so far, and I'm glad what they're doing, and the animation's great. It's not bad at all. It's really well designed, and characters all sound great. So I'm just really glad. Can't wait for more. So,
Hmm. All
but
right. Speaking of media, the Oscars happened, but before we get into the thing that happened, let's talk about the the awards from the Oscars.
yes, we should. And let me actually switch from my view right here. The So the Oscars happen. I was I know people don't. Oh, I know people sometimes don't care about the. Sorry, let me. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, people don't really care about the Oscars, but for me and Ian, it's we love the Oscars. We watch it every year religiously in a way.
Yeah, even if it's not like a thing where we're fully paying attention to it, we're still like we're still seeing who's winning as it's going. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
but yeah. So there was a lot of the same awards as usual, but I guess we could go through them. But there was some notable ones like the actor in a supporting role. That one was Troy Coaster, I think that might be how you say it, Coster or
I think
Coaster.
I think so.
He was from Coda, which is a great movie, you know, to recommend.
Hmm.
It's about a this. It's about actually a thing that. It's actually about a thing that's actually something in real life where it stands for Child of Deaf Adults, I believe.
I believe so.
And it's basically like this girl is the only non-deaf person in her family, which means like she's relied on for a lot of like their communication with other people, and but she also has to deal with her own stuff in her life. And in the movie she also really likes to sing, which is something they don't quite understand because they don't really get to hear her, so they don't really see that dream coming into fruition, especially when they need her so badly. So it kind of goes about that stuff, which is really good.
Yeah.
um,
I'm glad that he got actor in a supporting role. He did very well in the movie. I was
yeah
actually kind of thinking that would be Cody Smith McPhee from The Power of the Dog. He was also good in the movie.
Yeah, he was really good in the movie too. I agree. I think Claren Hines or Hines. I think he's the older. He's the grandpa in the Belfast movie,
Hmm.
which I did watch. And yeah, he was good in it too. I watched all. We watched. I think maybe I watched more than you, but I think me and you watched the most of the movies. And from all of these, I would say that Troy did the best for sure. I think.
Yeah.
But I guess I don't know. I guess that's what we could say for that. And now for actress in leading role, I didn't get to see Isa Tammy Faye. I didn't get to see The Lost Daughter or Parallel Mothers or
Yeah.
Spencer. But
Yeah, we actually didn't see any of these movies besides being the Ricardos, where Nicole Kidman was very good in her role, but I can't really say anything for the other actresses.
yeah, exactly. Like yeah, because apparently Jessica Chastain did a really well, and she pretty much played Tammy Faye exactly how people would see that new Tammy Faye and saw her. And I think even like you said, Nicole Kidman really played um,
Lucille Ball.
Lucille Ball really well. Kristen Stewart, I heard played uh, she played sorry
Diana, Princess Diana.
Princess Diana really well to True. And Penelope Cruz, I haven't seen Parallel Mothers. I heard it's good, and Olivia Colman was also good apparently. So these, I'm sure Jessica Chastain deserved her Oscar, and I'm glad she did. I
Yeah,
was sorry.
I
Any
was so
This one was the one I was really excited about.
I was so happy for her.
Because I loved we both liked West Side Story, and yeah, it was really exciting to see this actress that played what was the character's name again?
Oh, her name was Anita. Her name was Anita.
Anita, and she was the sister to the main girl.
Oh, she wasn't the sister.
Oh,
She was her
she
best friend, and she was also her brother's
her
friend.
brother's girlfriend, right?
Yes.
Yes. So yeah, but yeah, she played it really well. She sang and danced really well in the movie, and it was just. I think I honestly did see every single movie on this list, and comparing all the supporting actresses, even Judi Dench. Oh no, I didn't see The Lost Daughter. Sorry, but Power the Dog, King Richard. I don't know, Ariana Dubose. I don't know if that's the way you say it, but I'm saying it like that because she's half Hispanic. I don't know if that's her mom or dad's side, but the Bose, she deserved the Oscar. It was great. She had a great
Oh
performance.
yeah. I thought it was really like she was say poetic or something, or I guess parallel. I'm not really sure what you would call it, but I was like, oh, for it so much in the movie, and I thought it was so cool that like both actresses from both movies of West Side Story both won an Oscar for that role as Anita, both the original actress and Ariana DeBose. I've seen Ariana DeBose in Hamilton. I believe she was in the original Broadway recording of Hamilton, where
Mm-hmm.
she played the Bullet, and I loved her in Hamilton. And it's really cool to see like someone who is on Broadway like get to the big screen of movies and then win an Oscar. You know,
Yep, I agree. It is a pretty cool transition from those two worlds. But
yeah, and
yeah, I
I
agree.
have nothing else to say.
Yeah. And now to I think something that I don't know. It's hard to say, but animated feature film. Um, a lot of people, and I agreed with you, Abby. I think Mitchell's versus the Machine should have won.
Yeah, I think it should have won. I was like, it's either going to be Encanto or Mitchell versus the Machines. I already knew that Luca and Raya were out of the picture. I already knew they weren't going to win.
I was
So
kind of like Raya for sure wasn't gonna win, but I was thinking Luca could have had a slim chance. Flea just sucks that I never got to see it, but Flea could have
yeah,
been one too.
I did enjoy Encanto, but I did enjoy Encanto. I loved Encanto, but I really liked the Mitchells versus the Machines, and I was really hoping that they would get an Oscar for it. Lord and Miller got an Oscar for that movie because it was genuine. It was probably my favorite animated movie of that year of 2021.
Yeah, it was really good. I liked it too. It was like very the film itself was really like well animated, and it was a different, it was a more interesting and original plot to a film with different characters, and just like really, like I said already, the animation was just really unique, so it was really cool to see that. Encanto, well, it was a good movie. I can't say, I keep saying it like it wasn't a good movie. It was a good movie. It's just that comparing all five of these films except for Flea, because I'm sure Flea was probably really good, but I never saw it. Actually, Flea could have been the winner if we had seen it, but um, Mitchell vs. the Machine seemed to be the one that we wanted the most, though.
Yeah, I think a movie that got snubbed from the animated feature films was a movie I didn't get to see it. I really want to see it. We can rent it later,
Mm-hmm.
but it was an anime movie that came out. Um, Never mind because it came out this year, I believe. Belle.
Are you sure? I saw that. I think that was last year. I think 2021.
Could you make sure? Because I don't
Okay.
remember if it came out early this year or last year. Belle. I heard that was a very good movie, and I really do want to see that movie.
It says
Oh, okay, it came
2021.
out this year.
Yeah, so it would have. Yeah, it could have been. We would hope that it's good, but as as I have unfortunately been the victim of, was that when I think 20, I don't remember what year it was, but 2018 or 19 Oscars, there was Mirai, which was a anime film that was nominated for the Academy, the Oscar, and it didn't win, but it was nominated, and then I was like, oh, that's so cool, because we were in the during that time we were really into watching like anime films because we got off of watching the Silent Voice
And all the Ghibli movies.
and all the Ghibli movies. So we're like, oh, let's see what this one's like. And I was very disappointed. It wasn't.
Yeah,
I was trying to convince myself that it was good. I don't think it was that great,
it was a
Mirai.
meh movie.
But
The
yeah,
animation's good,
the
but the
animation
movie
is
itself is meh.
yeah, the plot's really meh, and the characters are kind of too. But
Yeah, I'm
anyway,
ha- I'm happy Encanto won. Like at least if it wasn't Mitchell's versus Machines, I'm glad it was Encanto that won.
yeah, I agree. So I guess from that we could go to cinematography, which I did watch every single film on this list, and Dune. It was between Dune and Tragedy of Macbeth or Power of the Dog. West Side Story,
Yeah,
decent cinematography. Wasn't
I
that
thought it
like
was nothing really
it
special.
wasn't nothing special, and for sure Nightmare Alley had nothing special to it at all.
Oh yeah,
But Tragedy of Macbeth did have some really interesting like cinematography, the way it was like filmed. Power to Dog 2, amazing
Yeah,
like
I did like
landscape shots.
cinematography in Power of the Dog.
And but Dune, I think Dune did do a lot this year. I think I agree that Dune cinematography was really well done. If I had to pick another one though besides it, I guess probably the dog. Oh wait, no, probably Macbeth, Tragedy of Macbeth. I think actually.
I didn't get to see Tragedy of Macbeth, but I would choose Power of the Dog because I've seen Power of the Dog. But I trust you when you say that it had really good cinematography.
It looked really good, but Dune I think had better, so it deserved it. So now
Yeah,
to costume design,
I agree with Cruella. I
I
agree with
do
her.
agree. I'm glad it won because I was like so like Cruella better win something, whether it was makeup or costume. I was really hoping for either one, but costume made sense. I never saw the Cyrano. I think that's how you say it, Cyrano, or yeah, Cyrano maybe. Dune had decent. No, Dune had good costume design too, because he had to make like these like sci-fi esque outfits and stuff. Nightmare Alley also did have good costumes because of the like whole like era it was in, and then also the Carney stuff, and then also
Yeah,
just and then West Side Story, of
and
course,
hmm
because of because of it being
yep,
West Side Story. But yeah, Cruella deserved it. I agree because they had better costumes overall.
yeah.
For
Directing. I'm so glad Power of the Dog won.
yeah, it was actually I was very split on this to be honest because I've watched every single movie on this list and I was very like
Oh wait, you watched Licorice Pizza?
I watched everyone. Yeah, I watched Licorice Pizza. Licorice
Was it
Pizza,
good?
it's amazing. It's so good. Besides Coda, that was my second favorite film of this year. Of
Damn, I need to watch
2021.
Licorice Pizza.
There's some things that technically the contextualizing it, it's kind of weird. I'll tell you later, but actually I could just say it now. It deals with a relationship, but kind of not at the first. It's not supposed to be romantic, but it's because one side wants it to be romantic because he's a kid. So there's like this
hmm
so it's not. I don't want to describe it like that, but basically it's like revolves around this like 15-year-old kid who's like a up and coming actor because he's doing like all these like acting gigs and his mom's like his manager, but he's at a school picture day and the main actress you see on the posters of it and everything is like the girl that was taking the pictures for the kids and stuff, and she kind of comes across him and he starts talking to her like flirting and just being like all like you know like all like smooth and stuff and just being like hey blah 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 blah, and they kind of get along but just to like talk and stuff.
hmm
It's only until later, but it's a really good developing film. I just love it so much. Besides that text of it, I think overall, if you ignore that part though, it's just really well done and so like, I don't know. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah,
I don't want to give out too. Actually, I don't want to give too much of the plot away to anyone listening. That's the thing too. I don't want to give out that much because you should see it yourself. It's great. Um,
yeah. Power of the Dog. I loved the movie, and I'm glad it got directing. I think the directing was really good in the movie.
mhm.
And were you split on that one in Licorice Pizza, or was it another one?
It was I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. What's funny though? I don't want to denounce Spielberg because I think he deserves it as well if he wanted to, you know what I mean? Like if it
Oh
was
yeah,
it was well directed as well. But I think it's good to like it's kind of like saying like Belfast was so good too. It's just like all these movies were good. Drive My Car was also good, but I don't know. For me, Power of the Dog was good, and I think Licorice Pizza would have been my choice, but the Power of the Dog deserved it. I think it was good.
yeah,
I wasn't gonna be mad with any of these choices. Maybe I wasn't gonna be mad, but I would have been a little disappointed about West Side because I don't know. Spielberg's won so many. I think it should probably give it to someone that's like, someone that hasn't, or something that I think deserved it more, maybe.
yeah. I
But
agree.
so directing, yep. Documentary. I don't want to skip over it like I don't
We could skip
care.
documentary.
I don't want to say like I don't care. It's just I had never got to see any film
Film editing,
editing.
June. I agree.
Yeah, I'm not like the most savvy person in film. I just really am a big person that I'm a big no, not a big person. I'm someone that watches a lot of film, and I've taken film classes to know a bit of like how they do editing and cinematography and stuff. I don't know. I'm not an expert, but based on what I think the editing was, Dune was good. Don't Look Up was horrible. I didn't care about the editing, The Powder Dog had decent editing. King Richard, it's just because I think King Richard and Powder Dog had nothing special to their editing. That was the thing. Dune, I don't know actually if Dune actually had that special editing. To be honest though, out of these, I think I would have picked Tick Tick Boom, actually, because it
I
had a
agree.
more
I actually really like the editing in Tick Tick Boom as
it had
well.
it had a more interesting editing style, and it was more like flashy and fast. Which I know that doesn't mean it's good, but I think for what it was, which was kind of like a musical-esque film, I think it worked well. Which I would have picked that instead. But Dune's good. I don't mind.
Yeah, I agree though. I love Tick Tick Boom's editing. I don't even know why the fuck Don't Look Up's on there. I don't know why Don't Look Up was even
Like
here in the first
no,
place for any of these.
yeah, it didn't deserve to be nominated at all for anything. But it was kind of like a late addition to like to me. It felt like a late addition to like not the Oscars, but in the year of 2021, and then it just kind of like got put in the Oscars because it was just like a star-filled film. That's why they put it in, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, well, that's I guess there's not much to talk about for film editing, but yeah,
Yeah,
international
for
film.
international, we didn't see any. We only saw Drive My Car. So
Yeah, we only saw that, so I guess glad it won.
I liked it. I just thought it was a little long for my taste, but I thought overall the movie was good.
Yeah, I don't mind the length. I don't care about the length. It wasn't that long. I liked it the way it was, but I don't know if I'll rewatch it. Not because it wasn't good, but there's only certain films I rewatch because I really enjoyed them a lot. So yeah, makeup and hairstyling. I hadn't seen Tammy Faye, but apparently they made what's her name that won the Oscar for Tammy Faye, her performance. They made her look a lot like her, so that's why a lot of people say that deserved it, and I think that's probably a good reason.
I believe people because the character, I say character, the guy that Andrew Garfield acted as, people said that he looked exactly like him.
Yeah, so yeah, I think I hadn't seen Coming to America, so it could have been also great too. Cruella, I thought I would have picked because I thought the makeup was really good and the hairstyling was awesome. And Dune actually had really good stuff too, because you had to make them look all sci-fi esque and like all that stuff. House of Gucci though, I think that could have been a contender. I think if it wasn't Tammy Faye, it should have been House of Gucci because of they made Jared Leto look like that guy, and then they also made them all like they put a lot of makeup and hairstyling into those characters. I think.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I guess that. Yeah. I guess if people said it deserved it, I guess it deserved it. Music.
Oh, I completely forgot Don't Look Up score. There was nothing fucking special about the score of Don't Look Up.
It was a dog shit score, if I'm being honest with you. It was pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
Parallel Mothers had not seen. Encanto was good. I think the music was probably majority of the movie. I don't think the score really had much in the movie because most of the movie was singing except for a few parts where there was not that much singing. Dune had a decent score. I would have probably picked Power of the Dog if I'm being honest, but
yeah, I like Dune's score a little better than the Power of the Dog score for me at least.
I guess I need to rewatch these. I watched Power of the Dog more recently than Dune, so I guess I needed to rewatch Dune. But yeah, Encanto though, that wasn't too bad. Parallel Mothers sounded like it because I heard pieces of the score from like the trailers. I don't know if that was actually in the film, but yeah. Anyway.
Oh my god, I'm so glad No Time to Die won. I love No Time to Die. It's such a good song.
Yeah. I was just gonna announce this now. If no one knows on the podcast yet, because obviously it is only second episode, I am a huge Billie Eilish stan. So anything she comes out with music wise is just I listen to every single song, and this was a great song. And I will say, I did listen to everything else, and yeah, that was the best song out of the whole lineup for sure. Hands down, and she deserves it. I think that they did a well job with the song, and the way it came about them. The way they came about doing the song was kind of cool because Phineas said it was more like they had to put themselves in the shoes of a character instead of them just making it themselves because it was based on being for a movie. It wasn't like their own thing. They had to do it for like a James Bond thing. You know what I mean? So yeah. It was kind of interesting that was like a more unique thing they had to do for this specific song. And they actually recorded it, I think, on tour where they didn't really have a place to record it, but they decided to do it in the van, I believe, or the what do you call it, their tour bus or whatever, and they just turned off all the lights and turned off the engine and just kind of did it in there and recorded it.
Interesting.
But yeah, I liked it a lot. I did listen to Be Alive. I did listen to dos Orguitas, I think. I'm sorry. I do know how to speak Spanish. I just, when I have to sound stuff out by looking at it, I have to make sure I'm saying it right. But yeah, that was a good song. Down to Joy, I did listen to that. I actually, you know what's funny? Belfast actually could have gotten the nominated for original score because that score was really good for Belfast. I actually think it got snuffed a bit. Down to Joy, Somehow You Do, that was okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
now
that's all I have to say. Best Picture.
So man, I don't know.
Don't Look Up's the only one I think that shouldn't be on here. I don't even know why the fuck it's on here.
I agree. I don't know what the hell it's on there, man, but Coda deserved it. I think Coda was the winner. I think Coda deserved it.
It's such a good movie.
Such a good movie. And it's also a good movie for not just it's a good movie. It's quality movie, and it's the best one out of the lineup for me as well. Because I watched every single film on this list. Surprisingly, for everyone that thinks I didn't, I did. I watched everything. I watched West Side. I watched Powder Dog, Nightmare Alley, Licorice Pizza, King Richard, Dune, Drive My Car, Don't Look Up, Belfast, and Coda. And I watched I paid for Belfast and Licorice Pizza just to watch it for the Oscars. And Dune, Coda still came out on top. I think it's because I like slice of life films more than anything. So
yeah, I mean, our favorite Ghibli movie is Kiki's Delivery Service, which is a very slice of life film.
And the coming of age is also another film genre that is like that too, and I like that a lot. So that's why, as well. But
would you say Licorice Pizza would have been your second choice?
Oh yeah, definitely. It would have been definitely my second choice. Like, you'd be surprised, Abby. You need to watch the film. It is so, I don't know, subjective. Everyone's subjective. It's subjective, everything. But I don't know. People might disagree with me because King Richard was really, really good too. That's the thing. King Richard was good. Licorice Pizza was good. Nightmare Alley was still good. I don't think it was snuffed. Power to Dog was great. West Side was amazing. Drive My Car was really good. Don't Look Up was a fucking dog shit movie. Belfast was really good as well. But I don't think Belfast would have been top 5 for the movies. But I would have put Coda, Licorice Pizza, I think King Richard, and then I think it would have been Power to Dog and then Drive My Car, probably.
Yeah.
For me. But yeah. I think Coda
I really like Coda. Yeah. That's all.
Should we go into more, or think we should just stop here?
We can just stop here. Actually, I completely forgot. I wanted to talk about the favorite clapping moments. You remember that part of the Oscars? I actually wanted to talk about that as well.
The what moments?
The top 5 clapping moments, or the top 5 scenes of movies of 2021. I forgot what it was called. What it was called. It was like a portion of the Oscars where they had movie moments that people love.
Mm-hmm.
And
but which ones? Which ones are you referring to?
The movies that were mentioned were Endgame. No Way Home.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember what that was called?
Mm-hmm. Top 5 Oscar cheer moments, I believe they called it.
Yeah, cheer movie moments. There you go. I actually wanted to talk about that real quick. I didn't. Is there a list?
Yeah, I think there is.
Because I needed to rant about this for a moment.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, there it is. They're all listed here.
Okay, perfect. The Matrix. That's a very odd scene. I didn't think. I watched we both watched the new Matrix movie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't remember that scene.
It's not even about the new Matrix, it's the original.
Oh wait, really?
Which is weird because I'm kind of confused why they picked certain movies. and how they got like the votes, because I never was aware of this. I would have voted, but the Matrix bullet time was pretty good. It's an iconic scene in
Yeah.
film,
If we're
and
talking about the original, then yeah, I
yeah,
do agree. That's very odd that they included that because I thought it was going to be mostly newer movies, but never
unfortunately,
seen Dreamgirls.
yeah, unfortunately,
Is that
never
musical?
believe so.
Musical?
Yes, and actually, I need to see this movie. Actually, I remember. Yep.
Is it
Um,
talking about like? Is there a new one, or is it only this one?
I think this is the original.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure. It looked like there was a maybe it was there's a Broadway version and then the movie version.
Well, it came out in 2006, so yeah, I think I've heard of this. I just never seen it, so I need to watch it. But that was one of them.
Okay, so the top three are what I wanted to talk about. Why the fuck is the Flash enter the Speed Force top one when fucking Avengers Assemble and three Spider-Man team up exist? Like, why the fuck? Can
It,
someone explain that to me?
someone, some people were saying
This,
online that they think that the Snyder boys were like spamming the votes to be able to like make that the top scene, because like I guess we didn't realize it, but there's huge, like we know that though, but there's huge like DC EU Snyderverse like fanboys right now that are
yeah,
desperately wanting the movies to be Snyderverse. And I kind of like Snyder. I do, no, not kind of. I do like the Snyderverse, and I kind of want them to keep with it, even if it's not like in the concurrent timeline. But I don't like that a lot of people are also mad that they're getting kind of, well, I don't know. Anyway, the Flash enters the speed zone is just such a lackluster. I don't think it's that much of a cheer moment. I was, if I had seen that in theaters, would have never cheered for that at all.
no. If anything, if I were to choose a DC cinematic movie with a cheer moment, I would have chosen the Wonder Woman scene in the Batman v Superman where she comes up and the score goes do do do
Oh,
do 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 do
dude,
do do do.
that the most hyped scene in all of the DCU was that scene, like completely. Because when she comes out of nowhere with her shield and just like goes and blocks the beam from Doomsday, and I'm like, whoa,
And then
that's
her score, I fucking love her score, and it's like, the Flash. What the fuck happened? I don't even remember that.
that was in the Snyder. Well, it was in the Snyder Cut, but I mean, like, it's kind of like a moment that was never. Like I said, if you saw that in theaters, I would never clap because it's not that big of a deal. Freaking Avengers Assemble and fucking
I remember Ian,
Spider.
we were both there. We were both in theaters when Endgame came out, and we heard everyone fucking cheering when Captain America said his famous line, "Avengers Assemble."
Assemble and do, and it was like
Do
woo do
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 do.
do.
And do you know what's funny though? I'm not saying that this wasn't a cheer moment, but I guess technically when the three Spider-Man landed at the same time in the Statue of Liberty scene, I wonder if the more cheer moments were when Andrew and Toby first showed up. You know what I mean?
I think that would have been where the cheer moments were because we that's where we saw them because
Because
we already know they exist.
yeah, because I went to see Spider-Man before y'all did. I saw it the day it came out, I think, and the most of the cheer moments were like with Daredevil, um, that those two moments with like also the villains when they popped up, but also like when Toby and Andrew came out like in the portals. But yeah, but no, that was a cheer moment too. I agree that the Spider team up was a great cheer moment as well. But Avengers Assemble probably would have been number one for me. If not that,
Yeah,
then Spider-Man No Way Home's three Spider-Man team up. Yeah, I think. I don't know.
yeah.
They're pretty
I just wanted
close.
to rant about this because the Flash entering the Speed Force that shouldn't even be on top 10.
I
To
know
be
it
honest,
shouldn't. I don't agree with that at all. I don't know why that was it, but I guess the Oscars is kind of. I could agree. Sometimes the Oscars is fucking stupid.
now let's talk about the elephants in the room.
So the elephant in the room, what you referring to, is the
It's
biggest.
actually a fish and a zebra.
Yeah, it's actually a fish and a zebra.
Dang it! I should have said that the fish and the zebra in the room. Damn it!
So if y'all didn't know, It was pretty much the biggest thing that happened that day, and also in Oscars history, probably. Unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it would be in Oscars history. I
Oh
know
no, I
that.
think so, Abby. You're really putting it down. No, it is. I think, unfortunately, but it is probably. I know you're gonna say like, well, of course, people won awards and stuff, but I don't know. I think this is gonna be talked about for years and years to come. Like, literally, this will probably be the thing people, for some reason, will highlight about the Oscars. Unfortunately,
I guess you're right.
because it's such a like, it was the most insane moment ever to happen. And it's not just in live television, because there's been plenty of times in live television where things have happened, but for as big of a star as Will Smith is and as big of a star as Chris Rock is, and just to see that altercation happen and just it being in front of millions of people on TV and also hundreds of people in person. Oh man. Yeah. But we
Yeah.
wanted to talk about it because it's a current thing, and we could put it in the thumbnail. And
Yeah,
in
we
the
can put it in the thumbnail.
and
We can, yeah.
in the title, I guess. But yeah. I'm sorry. I'm gonna say I think it is gonna be part of Oscar history now. Unfortunately, not because I want it to be, but because it happened. Um, I guess.
Update: Chris Rock is not pressing any charges. I think
Oh,
that's been confirmed.
oh, he never was going to, but
Okay.
people kept saying that he would. He never did, and I think people just had the LAPD just had to keep saying no, he never did. He's not going.
Oh, okay. Okay, I just
Well, I
wanted
mean,
to
like,
confirm.
I wouldn't see him doing that because like he's not gonna make that big of a deal about it. Because I'm not gonna lie though. So either Chris Rock is like has a chin of steel, or Will Smith has such a baby boy slap, like a baby slap, bro. Because like the way he took it was such kind of a champ. I'm not gonna lie, because he got the shit smacked out of him like hella hard. The way the force went into that,
Like the sound of it.
and I liked how he's like, "Wow, okay."
Probably same. Probably same if I were just slapped out of nowhere. I'd be like, oh, wow, okay.
I know. I kind of want to bring up the video, but at the same time, I don't really want to because I don't know if YouTube's algorithm is really weird that sometimes they'll consider this video probably not bad, but then in other people's cases, they'll probably be like, oh, copy taking down your video because of violence. And I'm like, what? People have been posting this video all over the place. Anyway, but the memes, though, were the best part.
Look up the memes. Look up the memes, man. Look up
Oh
the memes.
man, dude, this is so funny. I love the Will Smith. Though, like, if nothing good, well, we could give our takes in a bit, but like, if nothing, the only good thing that came out of this whole like confrontation was the memes. Like, dude.
Yes. That's the first thing that people put as soon as that slap happened. Batman memes
Oh, dude, because I forgot about that
everywhere.
panel. That's an old ass panel of comic book.
Mm-hmm.
What does it say? Me trying to enjoy the weekend Monday. That's
Some good old meme.
my wallet,
Little
the gas pump,
nice.
the ketchup bottle.
My
That's
favorite one's just my favorite one's just the Batman one. That's my favorite one. I'm sorry.
Nicole Kidman's Botox finally receding. That's what people said. I'm not saying that because I think that, but. Okay, why are they repeating it? Oh,
I don't even know what that is. Is that cryptocurrency?
yeah, slap token. A Pokemon, like you see that? Oh, okay, no, just
All right.
anyway. But so the best part was the memes, but I guess there's two sides to this apparently, which I don't think there should be two sides, but there is. I guess I'll.
Either you think, or do you want to start?
No, you could go.
There are two sides to this, but I don't think like there's one side where people are like, oh yeah, Will Smith is completely in the right, and then there's another side where it's like Chris Rock's completely in the right. I think it's just like like Was the joke that Chris Rock said not a good joke? Yeah, it wasn't a good joke. But did it warrant him being slapped by Will Smith? I don't think so,
Yeah,
personally.
I I think I agree with it. Um, yeah, so yeah, there's two big sides to it. First, when it came out, I don't know, maybe statistically now, I think majority, I would say the majority is saying now it was wrong, but I think at first it was really divisive. Like it was still, but I don't know. People will say now it's still divisive. I don't think so. I think there's a statistic number that probably most people would say it was wrong. But I don't know, dude. People are gonna be like, I don't know, dude. It just sucks that there's two sides to this because it's like it was a work event with work peers, and one of them just okay. So first of all, let's address the joke. So Jada Pickett Smith has a condition where her hair falls out, and that's that's very sad because I know that that's like a that would be considered kind of a I guess a what do you call it like a that's something taken away from her, and women that have their hair like fall out and have hair loss, they feel that it's really like well, I could only assume, I'm a guy, but I mean like what I've heard from women is that it's very like um it's like the form of like how men feel demasculated. Women feel that that's like it like I don't know, maybe like a way of saying devalues them or something like that. Um, it's I've heard it
Like
in different terms, but
they feel more like insecure.
yes, I think something like that. But so I feel bad for her. I feel that sucks to have that. But the thing about that though is that so other things that I found out about this was that apparently, according to Chris Rock, I believe, didn't know that she had that condition. So that joke wasn't really well. That's just based on what I've heard. That's probably not true. I don't know. Who knows? If that's true, then he didn't know. Then it sucks even more that he got slapped because he didn't know about about
Yeah.
that. Second off was that she had addressed it before the Oscars, and I don't mean before, right before. I mean like probably months ago, that when she was in an interview, she's like, I laugh about it now. I don't really care what people say about it, which was like kind of a cool power move, but apparently she still was pretty offended, which I understand. You could still feel offended from that. Why you shouldn't not feel bad that someone was making fun of your hair loss, you know what I mean? But the
Yeah.
thing is that if he didn't know about it, then it wasn't really like a out of like malicious intent that he made that joke out of. Everyone was getting roasted in the front row, remember? Like
Yeah.
and so I've heard everyone's opinions on it, and most people would say it was wrong, and I agree with those people. They was wrong for Will Smith to do that. It's just not professional, and I mean that in the sense that this is like literally like rich actors doing this shit, and it's like at the Oscars of all things,
Mhm.
it's just kind of not level-headed of someone. And I've gotten the fucking shit smack, like I've been smacked the shit out of, bro, or whatever you say, you know what I mean? Like I've had the shit smacked out of me, and I'm like, I don't like getting smacked. I don't think I would want to be in that position to get smacked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't feel good, and it's coming from someone that has had that happen multiple times to them. So it's like I can't feel the way that people are saying, like, oh, well, he defended him. That's great the way he did that. And I'm like, bro, either you're the person that does that or you're a person that's had that happen to you. I've had it happen to me a couple times, and I don't like it, and I don't think I would want to be smacked. So I don't like that
Yeah.
people would smack someone for that, because the thing is also that was really strange is that Will was laughing about it
Yeah,
before.
I saw that. Okay, so Jada rolled her eyes at the joke, which makes sense. But
Mm-hmm.
then I saw Smith laughing at the joke. So it seemed like he was okay with it at first, but then I guess he saw Jada's reaction, was like, oh shit, now I have to, I don't
Mm-hmm.
know.
Exactly. It felt like he was trying to prove something in a way, which people are going to be like, what do you know? Well, you don't know anything either, dumbass. So we could all
None of
speculate
us
about
know.
shit. We could all speculate about all the fucking bullshit we want because unfortunately it was all out in the public about their relationship and been going on, which has probably contributed to the reason he went out of his way to be emotional with his response to his joke about his wife. So I just think it wasn't good. I don't think that was right to do that. It just It's just in general, like, I'm I'm not someone that likes violence. Like, I get mad sometimes and I feel like I would do that, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna stay level headed about it, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
And it's just the thing about even worse is to do it at a public event, millions of people watching on the television, and then just like going back to your seat saying, "Keep my wife's name out of your fucking mouth." It's like,
Like he could have told Chris Rock, like he was going to win the Oscar. He could have told him right there, like saying like that joke was in bad taste. He didn't
exactly.
need to slap him. He could have just said, "Hey, that joke was in bad taste." He literally could have just not slapped him at all and just say what he said. Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
Yeah, I would have actually liked him if he just said that instead of actually physically hitting him. He could have just yelled that from his seat, and I think Chris would have gotten the message from his tone. You know what I mean? I don't think you
Mm-hmm.
should have even. I don't care about people cursing, but I guess it is the Oscars, so they don't really have like a really quick way of like, what do you call it, silencing when people like curse, because there are probably a few younger people watching, which whatever. I don't know what. I guess that doesn't matter, but you know, um, but yeah, it was just a lot of factors to this, and I think it's just kind of showing that there are people that are like, "Oh, I condone violence," and then other people that are like, "No, that's not right." And it's not even like it's not even a specific thing, because I watched the Deaf Noodles podcast, and Dennis, who's the host, and then his co-host Steven, who's African American, which I guess doesn't matter what he is, but he said as a black comedian that he thinks that, like, making jokes like that, even though they were in bad taste, it just sucks that that happens, because they know about it, because they know that other comedians like them have the potential of that happening to them, and no one wants that to happen to them, because if you're at a comedy club, there are people that for some reason, like, depending on who they are, get like offended by the joke, which I'm not saying as in offending as in saying that like you're saying something like racist or some shit. No, you just say something that you wouldn't expect it to be offensive to someone, but it was, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, Dennis and Steven said that they didn't think that shouldn't have happened. And I agree. It's just kind of my 2 cents about that. And
Yeah.
then, people are like, well, you've never been in a fight. You don't know what it is to protect your. Like, shut the fuck up, dumbass. Like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about either. Fucking. I will say, though, still the memes were the fucking shit ever, dude. I
Oh
mean,
yeah. Oh yeah.
dude, I can't. I can condone I can't condone the violence, but the memes, bro, were just the funniest shit ever. Oh god.
The funniest.
But I don't know. I I just think most people's consensus now at this day we're recording this, I think by now has been that it wasn't good that he did that. And I didn't like a lot of people on Twitter saying like, "Oh, good for him. He should do that." And it's like, go fuck yourself, asshole. Like, if you're like punching and slapping people willy nilly, and it's so funny though, because if you want to put this argument that you should be allowed to do stuff like that, like just physically hitting people, like just because you don't like something they said, then if I ever run into the person that said, "Oh, I condone that," and if they said something I didn't like, then I should have the right to punch the shit out of them. Then, if that's their argument, right? Because if I ever met that person
Yeah.
in real life and they said something I don't like, I should be able to hit them, right? With no repercussions, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, if they're saying that, I should be allowed to do that to them then, because they're saying that's right. So I could do it to them if they said something
Yeah.
stupid to me. That's just their. That's just what their mindset is, though. You know what I mean? Like, you can't say that, and then one day when you say something, and then someone slaps the shit out of you, and you're like, "What the fuck, man?" And you're just like, "Hey, bro, you said it's condoned, so why would you get mad?"
Yeah.
Kind of like that, and then they're gonna be like, "Oh, I didn't mean it towards me specifically," but it's like, shut the fuck up. Then it would happen to you. It can happen to you. It shouldn't, but it can. And you shouldn't
Yeah.
have that happen at work, especially. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah. I
anything?
just think Will Smith handled this poorly. That's all I have to say. He just
Mm-hmm.
he just handled it poorly.
Good thing. Thumbnail stuff. Good job. Good job.
You know,
Okay, I think.
I,
Do
we're
we
going to
have?
talk about. I was going to talk about the bubble.
Yeah. Go ahead. I have not seen
And
this
I
film.
love how you have the tab already open for Max Lord. You already have the tab open
Oh yeah,
just in case, you know.
we never can
This
go
movie
without
was
Max Lord.
the movie was mid. The movie was mid. It's about a cast and crew of a blockbuster action franchise. I'm reading off of Netflix. Attempt to shoot a sequel while quarantining at a hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so the movie is about that. Is about a cast and crew. Um, you know, quarantining at a hotel while they're trying to film a movie. And it's supposed to be a comedy, but I didn't laugh really that much in the movie.
Yeah, it's a commentary movie.
Yeah, it's a commentary movie on COVID, but it was very like outrageous. There were some parts that were very like extreme, but there were other parts that were fine. It was a meh movie. Um, Pedro Pascal is the only good thing in this movie, and also there were two other guys I found funny, but they weren't in the movie that long. I just found them funny. But Pedro Pascal was very good in the movie. Love him. He's always good in the movies. If he's in a bad movie and the movie itself has 10%, the only reason it got 10% is because of Pedro Pascal.
Yeah.
That's the only reason. The movie's meh. It's mid. Um, Pedro Pascal should have been in it more. Keegan Michael Key was fine. Karen Gillian was fine. Everyone was fine. It was a meh movie.
Yeah. I guess I'll.
Um,
Yeah.
you can watch it if you want, but it's meh. Like it's 2 hours. A lot
Yeah,
of
that's that's
nothing
that's
happening.
that's pretty long for a mid movie to watch. So yeah, I
Yeah.
might not watch it, but glad to know what your opinion was about it. But what was I gonna say? Oh, sorry. Did you hear my can earlier? I was opening a can.
I didn't hear you open a can.
Man, my microphone's really good. I'm surprised. I opened a can that was really loud and poured it in my cup. Anyway, but so
Yeah.
anything else, Dad? Because I never watched the movie. So.
Pedro Pascal, that is all. He was good in the movie. I wish he was the main character in the movie. I didn't care about anyone else really. Besides the other two guys that were in the movie that were background characters.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, that was all. That's literally it. Nothing to say. It was mid.
Kind of mid,
Even
bro.
yeah, it's mid.
So anything else or just that?
We can, yeah, that's
Okay, well, speaking of mid, well, I went to this Noel Miller thing, bro, and it was kind of mid. No, I'm just kidding.
it.
Kind of mid, bro. No, I'm just kidding. Well, so what I was gonna say is that I for how do I say this? I'm trying to. This isn't really doxing. I don't go to this school, but University of Oklahoma had this event where Noel Miller went to have a Q&A session at the campus. And I don't go to school there. I go to a different school in Oklahoma. That's a university. So it took me a while to drive over there, but it was worth it because it was kind of a cool, like, it was kind of awesome because it was like I got to see someone like I wasn't near him, that not close to him, but to see him like talk in person, like if it was like a comedy show, was really neat and really cool. So it was really awesome to have like one of my like favorite content creators to like see him not like perform because it wasn't like a comedy show, but it almost was because the way he would like he comes up with jokes like on the spot. Abby, like if I had to pick my favorite comedian content creator on YouTube, Noel Miller hands down. He just is so witty and is able to come up with jokes like he's like situational comedy in a way because I don't know if that's a real thing, but situational comedy to me is that you take a situation and make a joke out of it in a way that's like not in the wrong place at the wrong time kind of thing. I mean like someone says something and then you come up with a joke about it. And I think I kind of go off of that sometimes. But so he started off with the Q&A, which was basically like questions from the OU students that were asking like, oh, about his journey as a content creator, his opinion, like how his content is, what his favorite types of content are to make, how his short film was made, like what was that process like, and all that cool stuff. Which I did agree, and I liked it a lot because I never knew about the process of his short film. and I never knew like how his like journey was, kind of, you know, because he's talked about it briefly sometimes, but most of the time on the TMG podcast they talk about more current stuff in their lives, so they don't really talk about back when they did other stuff, you know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
so it was kind of cool to hear that. And then what was cool is that he opened it up to everyone to ask questions, and I feel like I don't want to even reveal it, but I kind of do. I'm just gonna reveal it because it's not for sure. But the TMG podcast is coming out Wednesday, and it's gonna be recorded the Tuesday. And he just went to see us this past weekend, or not past this past Thursday, which means that if he felt anything was worth saying, he's gonna say it on the show and gonna mention it. Not me, and I'm not even excited because I was part of it. It was just that it's gonna be cool that I attended that event. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I never get this giddy. I was very giddy in there too. I was very like hyped and shit. And you know how I always mention that like you could be hyped though. That's the thing. You don't need to care about people and their personal lives, but you could care about them as content creators. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what I was doing. I was like, this is the dude. I like to watch his YouTube videos and stuff, and that's kind of cool to see him like talk and make jokes. You know. So yeah, it was really fun. It was really cool to hear him like answer the questions people had. A lot of stupid bullshit. Like, dude, I didn't make a bingo sheet, but I should have. Me and the friend I went with to this event, I was telling her, hey, I guarantee you there's gonna be people that will ask the stupid shit that he always gets asked at shows, which is, can you make the blowfish noise? Can you do the Joker impression? Sugar gay. Sugar.
Sugar what?
Sugar what? Sugar what? I would have said that. Sugar what? No, just kidding. But I didn't say that. But people were like, sugar gay? Because someone asked about a skincare routine, and then he mentioned like all this like moisturizer and blah, blah, blah. And he said something else. And then, of course, some people wanted to be included by saying sugar gay. But he's like, oh, these guys think it's gay. He's like, oh, you moisturize and have a good routine, bro? That's kind of gay. You know, that's what Noel was mimicking, like how they would sound. Anyway,
People like that use 3-in-1 as lotion.
true. I'm not gonna lie. I counted off like blowfish noise, blowfish choking noise, Joker voice, sugar gay, that's cringe, some other shit I don't remember, but I'm pretty well versed in like their whole like references to their jokes and stuff. So it was kind of cool that I was able to predict all that shit, you know, which was pretty simple. I know he would be like, "Well, no shit, bro," because you know what people ask me because I talk about on the podcast. But you know, sorry, I've been going on for a while, but I was just gonna tell everyone, and I want to put it in the thumbnail. I met Noel Miller? Question mark.
Yeah.
I didn't meet him personally because he didn't do like a meet and greet. He just kind of like did the Q&A, asked if we had any questions, and then after that we just kind of rolled out. I will admit though, if y'all are seeing this on the screen, A Night with Noel Miller, the people that put this together, really great people. I don't go to school there, but all those students and workers that were there that were attending and doing the event, applauding them. That was great. I'm glad that y'all were able to put that together and do it so well. It was amazing. And also shout out to his roadie Tom, well not roadie, but his friend Tom, I believe, who was helping Noel. He didn't do any, like I didn't see, he did probably some stuff behind the scenes, but he was there, which was cool to see like who Noel travels with, I guess, as like the person when he goes to like tours and stuff, I guess. Maybe I think his name was Tom. Shout out to Tom. And you know, shout out to Noel for doing that, which I'm really, really begging that he says something. One thing I will mention you to, Abby, one funny joke that he had. So when the floor was open to everyone, someone asked, he was like, okay, so he would name people. He was like, yo, green shirt, yeah, what's your question? And obviously that's already funny. But anyway, I think it was green shirt, whatever. He was like, so what's your question? He's like, so I'm asking a serious question. I know it sounds dumb, but I'm being serious. I'm not trying to be funny. What's your favorite word? And Noel's like, what? What's my favorite word? It's like,
what's your favorite word?
He says I'm so much funnier than me. I'm bashing his shit right now. Like, he's gonna say it on podcast and it's gonna sound fucking funny. I can't say it like it's funny, but it was funny that this guy just like, his question was like, what's your favorite word? You know, and then he's like, I don't know, I never gave it thought. And the guy's like, I can tell you my favorite word. And he's like, sure, what is it? And he's like, masticate. Not the word you're thinking of, masticate, which I looked it up. Apparently, it's the action of chewing food. Really weird thing. And another thing that he mentioned, which I'm sure Noel, if he says anything about this whole experience, chew food, yeah, masticate. What a random ass word. One thing that Noel might mention in the podcast is that the same guy also said, I also noticed that you kind of like, what did he say? He's like, I kind of realized that you kind of like evolve your vocabulary over the years or over the time you talk, because you always just say something so intricate but not how you usually did. And Noah's like, what? He had a good response, but it's like really weird observation, right?
Yeah.
It's like you're a
I guess he just really likes vocabulary. That dude just really likes vocabulary.
Yeah, because he said like you would say something that not really most people would say, like a word, and he's like, sure, man. I think he said something like that, but I'm like, I'll send you the clip, and we could react to it if he does, and I'll clip it, and then we could put it in the next podcast, because I was like bawling. But anyway, that was my experience with Noel Miller. It was great. I don't think I'm ever going to see a live show, because I think that was pretty much my live show, so I'm not going to see one anymore. I'm going to keep that as my only experience.
And then that was for free.
It was for free, and I know he's going to be like, oh, you don't want to pay me for my shit, bro? I do, dude. It's just you're not going to Oklahoma that often, you know? And also, I don't have the money to spare at the moment to, like, go to a show. But I really enjoyed your time and going over there. I'm not even a student at OU. I just went because I saw you were going, so it was kind of cool to see that.
I guess we're done. I guess.
One thing I wanted to mention, one more thing, was that for the show, the people that put it together made a shirt, and it said "A Night with Noel Miller." But when you think about it, Noel made it sound like Noel's like, you guys need to remember the way that might sound, a night with Noel Miller, you know? And I'm like, yeah, that's funny. And you know what's so funny that he mentioned that? I was like, I really want a shirt now.
Well, yeah, at least you got some stickers.
I did get some
night with Noel Miller.
I did get some stickers. I only got 3, which kind of sucked, because I think I should have just grabbed handfuls, like a couple, because I kind of wanted just to have some to put on other stuff, because now I only have option to have 3, but whatever. And also I'm going to see if I could get any hookups for those shirts, hopefully. But anyway, I'm done. We've gone on for long. I think this is now an hour and 37. Wow, okay. Well,
nice.
I think we could end it here then, probably.
Right.
Wait.
Well, thank you for
Sorry.
For whoever is here.
Yeah, for whoever's here, thank you for coming over and listening to our podcast.
Thank you for listening to our rambles.
Yeah, because we did ramble quite a bit, but you know, I think it was a good podcast, and we're gonna try to continue our continue our scheduling of doing it every week. Hopefully we don't have issues like we did today, which was cut off of our reviews for Owl House and Amphibia, but just to let you guys know, they were good. So yeah.
They were good, yeah.
So anyway, I think that we're good. So thank y'all for watching. Anything to say, Abby?
No, thank y'all for watching.
Yeah, thank y'all for watching. I appreciate y'all, and hopefully you come back next week. See ya.